My name's Shawn Beaudoin. I live in Whistler, British Columbia, and I work for the Whistler Mountain Ski Patrol. And this is my 25th year working for the patrol.
So you get your lifetime pass soon, is that right?
I do get my lifetime pass. I have to make it through this year, and then if I come back next year, my wife and I will get lifetime passes.
That's a motivation.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Did you always want to be a ski patroller?
No. When I was in university, I found out that I could ski for free if I volunteered with the ski patrol. So I started doing that when I lived in Ontario, and then after university I moved out here to Whistler for a year of skiing and fell in love with the place and managed to get a job on the patrol, and the rest is history, as they say.
So you have skied all your life then?
I have skied all my life, yeah.
Because you have to be a very good standard, don't you?
You have to be able to get down most things in most conditions. You don't have to be able to look good doing it. You just have to be able to side slip everything.
Ah, okay. So if one wanted to be a ski patroller, what's the best path?
The best part?
The best pathway.
The best path.
On?
We hire pretty much exclusively from our volunteer team, so that's how everybody starts. So you would get the minimum of first aid certification required, and then apply to our volunteer patrol, and then do a season or 2 or 3 on the volunteer patrol, and then when openings come on the full-time paid team, then we hire pretty much exclusively from our volunteer team.
So what does your sort of average week look like?
Well, we work 4 days a week, and you might start as late as 7:30 and come up on the gondola, or you might start as early as 5:30 and drive up on a skidoo in the morning. It kind of depends what the weather's doing and what your specific role is that day. So on a nice sunny day like today, we start a little bit later and just kind of ease into our morning. And then if it's a day that's stormy, then everybody comes in early, and we have everybody has their roles, whether it's the avalanche forecasting or the preparing of the explosives or the weather or the supervisory team. And then those are much busier days. And then weekends are much busier, midweeks are quieter. You know, Christmas holidays, of course, very busy, and spring break is very busy.
What's the best and the worst part of the job for you?
Oh, the best part of the job is definitely the avalanche control. So
I was thinking it might be quite satisfying throwing a few bombs.
It's really nice. Throwing the bombs is obviously super fun.
Yeah.
And being out on the mountain in the storm or in a blue sunny morning with the sun coming up is fantastic. And it's a really high functioning team here. So we have people with really extensive skills in the medical area, in search and rescue, and explosives, and weather forecasting. So it's really very satisfying to be part of a high-functioning team like that.
Yeah.
And of course, on the rescue side of it, it's always nice to be able to help people. Unfortunately, that's a really bad day for somebody when we have to apply all of those skills and maybe put somebody in a helicopter and fly them off to the hospital. Then obviously that's a really bad day for them. So that's obviously the worst part of it, is that people get hurt. But on the plus side, it's very satisfying to be able to help somebody and to be able to pull off some of the complicated and intricate rescues that we get to do from time to time. It's very satisfying.
What's one of the most complicated rescues you had to do then?
That's probably people who are lost out of bounds, who are not in an area that they can ski out easily, either because they've become stuck somewhere or the area is much too difficult for them skill-wise, or perhaps they're injured. So going outside the ski area boundary, finding people is the first challenge, and then getting them out of the mountain is the second challenge. And sometimes that involves like a long line rescue, which is a style of rescue we do where we can hang a rescuer on a rope under a helicopter in basic terms and lower them into the forest to where the stuck or injured person is.
Wow.
And then fly them out. So that can be quite complicated and quite involved, and that's a small subset of our patrol team that has that certification. So that's probably one of the more complicated things that we could do.
Yeah. Could you do sort of like an idiot's guide to the differences here between Europe and North America in terms of what's off-piste, where you mark out boundaries, what is a boundary, what isn't?
Yeah, probably the biggest difference, and this is in general terms, is that we do avalanche control on the entire mountain. So if you were to like put the camera up top there, we would see all the off-piste terrain. And the off-piste terrain in Europe is probably quite similar in terms of cliffs and chutes and gullies and trees and stuff like that. But there's a lot less avalanche control done there, whereas here we do a lot more avalanche control. So essentially, if you're skiing inside the ski area boundary, whether you're on piste or off piste, then you really don't have to worry about avalanches.
But you'll rescue someone that gets in trouble from anywhere.
Yeah, for sure. Anywhere inbounds, we'll rescue anybody. Out of bounds, we'll rescue anybody, and then further afield, the local volunteer search and rescue team will go and rescue people, and sometimes we work in collaboration with them to pull off rescues that are maybe outside the boundary, but we can go and help the volunteer team, and vice versa.
Do you know if, because of the way that you do all that, do you have less accidents than compared to Europe?
No, I wouldn't think so. I would imagine that statistically speaking, it's probably quite similar. I don't have anything to back that up on, but I know, for example, for the 25 years that I've worked here, when you work out the injury rate statistically, it stays pretty much the same all year. And at ski areas around North America, it's pretty much the same. So it's like less than 0.5% of skiers get injured and need to be picked up by the patrol. And, you know, some days are busier, like if it's quite icy like it is today, maybe there's a few more people slipping on the ice. And if it's a big powder day, then people are going crazy and flying around all over the place. So there certainly are times that are busier or not as busy. But statistically, when you look at the whole season, it's pretty much the same year to year.
So it might, on a day like this, it's like you have the dream job. But you do, basically it's a really important job that you do.
Yeah. Some days it feels like you're just getting paid to ski. Some days you're just standing up bamboo and digging ditches in the rain all day. But yeah, it's a fantastic job. I feel super fortunate to be able to have done this long.